Well, if you've ever been to the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo, you've probably seen these guys, but what you may not know is the unique history that put this zoo in the national spotlight. About 500 animals call the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo home.
The animals just love people. We're such a small zoo that it's sort of like a hometown. It's like going to somebody's home and looking at their animals.
Despite it being a small, non-profit-run zoo, it's gained media attention from all over the world. And it all started with this. Hurricane Ivan in 2004.
We knew that storm was heading straight for us. These animals would never have survived it.
The zoo sits only a mile away from the Gulf, so Director Patty Hall did what anyone would do. She packed up the animals one by one and brought them to her home on a 10-acre property in Alberta, a modern-day Noah's Ark.
Wonderful local businessmen that donated their delivery trucks to us. We had rented all the U-Haulets that we could possibly find, 287 animals. We also brought the keepers, their families, and of course their personal pets. We had a monkey living in the house. We had baby tigers that were swimming in the swimming pool. We were without power for five days, and that was the hardest because we had to keep the meat for the cats, the carnivores. We needed to keep that as fresh as possible.
The aftermath of Ivan was devastating, and the zoo had to close down for a year to rebuild. Hall tells us they were one of the first zoos in American history to execute a full-scale evacuation, except for the alligators.
When you walk towards the back where Chucky the alligator was, 17 feet of water. And he just floated up out of his exhibit, and when the water went down, he was on the other side of his exhibit.
And that's where Chucky made national headlines. He was found near the zoo a few days later and soon caught the attention of Animal Planet.
After Ivan, we didn't know which way to turn. Every single area of that zoo was destroyed.
The network giant created a show called The Little Zoo That Could, documenting the staff's tireless efforts to rebuild. And that's when amazing things started happening.
From that time on, the zoo changed. It sort of put us on the map. We've had people from all over the world come and visit us.
But the troubles weren't over. In fact, they had to evacuate 2 more times. That's why the nonprofit organization is raising money for a newer, bigger location about 4 miles inland.
We'll never have to evacuate, ever, ever, ever.
Hall says they need about $16 million, and that about $3 million has been donated so far.
Tooth Fairy money, kids would set in when they got money from the Tooth Fairy, and so we received a $25,000 anonymous donation that we still don't know who it was from.
They've been building new exhibits like this as they go, all in the hopes that the little zoo that could will become the little zoo that did.
And if you leave here with just a little bit more respect for animals than when you walked in, then we're doing our job.
Reporting from the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo with Victoria here, I'm Devan Coffaro for Fox 10 News.